Yes, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. In this video, we are going to be looking at another segment, episode 2 of Sensible Arsenal Transfers. And basically, we are going to be replying to one question, or a request, rather, from one of the subscribers, Colin Corey, who did say, Kosi, talk about Emmerson from Real Betis, and he said, hey bro, we've been linked with Emmerson, a right back from Real Betis. Kindly do a video about him, and that is what we are going to be doing. We're going to be discussing much more about that man, Emmerson Royal from Real Betis. I did do a story about him today, and I talked much about how he's been linked with Arsenal, with another Real Betis player in the names of Rodriguez, who's a midfielder, but the focus there seems to be, and Mundo Deportivo clearly show that the focus of that story was Emmerson Royal, 21 million pounds rated right back, who Arsenal have lined up as their successor to Hector Bellerin. But before I go into that, I want to show you two things. One is actually this. So there we go. Kosi 90 more has begun. We shall be talking about many stories of around other clubs, and the reason as to why I'm bringing Kosi 90 more is we shall have Arsenal content there, but not so much of Arsenal content because we have the Kosi's Arsenal podcast. 90 more will be looking at Chelsea, United, other clubs around Europe, and basic stuff like that. So link is in the description. You could also subscribe. You could just go into YouTube and look for Kosi 90 more and then subscribe. We will be talking about much more of those stories around other clubs there. So the other thing is 63% of people think Gabriel Martinelli should be our striker next season. I did put out a poll on YouTube, and you guys voted for Gabi Martinelli. 63% actually of you voted that he should be the main striker, and then 20% voted that we need a new striker, and then the rest actually was it around 17% voted that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang should be our main striker next year. So I'll do a video about Gabi Martinelli, strength, weaknesses, and why he needs to be our striker next year, and I also do a video about what the hell is going on with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. With all that said, let us get straight into the video. Emmerson Royal. I've done a video about him, like I said, in the morning. We talked about him and the transfer saga, how much he would cost. He's a very young right back, very entertaining, very interesting to watch. When I was watching him, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, there is some sense in his football. He's a solid, he's a solid player. And I'm going to go to the tactical board and try to show you one of the things I really liked about his game as a player. You can see I had chosen Tariq Lamptey to be my player, my right back next season, but right now we are going to be talking about Emmerson, so I just need to replace Emmerson with replace Lamptey with Emmerson. So he's going to be playing our right back if he signs. That is, of course, if he signs. He'll be playing as a right back. First and foremost, I want to tell you this: he's better than what we have. I think that's what you want to hear as any Arsenal fan out there. It's the first question: is he better than what we have? And my answer is yes. He's better than all the players we have in that area. Better than Chambers, better than Bellerin, and better than Cedric. His ability to go forward is unquestionable. Like anyone would actually ask you, Kosi, how good is he going forward? Because I think and I've already said it, in the modern game of football, you need fullbacks that are very good at going forward. You could see players like Cancelo and Walker at City. They are one of the reasons why City never go into a goal drought, because they create much more. So one of the things I liked about him is this, his ability there, to make these runs off the ball and on the ball, make those runs all the time. Runs that I think Hector Bellerin doesn't do on a regular basis, and runs that I think Cedric also does seldom. The other thing I liked about Emmerson, and I think we will benefit if if he comes to the Premier League and actually works out, is his ability to move with the ball, comes into this into this area. Now instead of actually crossing this ball into the box, what he does is actually come inside and try to make those through passes. He reminds me of Hector Bellerin 5 or 6 years ago in 2015, around 2016, when he had just broken into the Arsenal starting 11. If you still remember, Hector Bellerin, the mighty right back, everybody was praising him. We were praising him, and the fact we were praising Hector Bellerin was the fact that he never feared the 18 yards box, and he never feared the penalty area. He could actually go into the penalty area directly and then take shots on goal, which I think is another strength of Emmerson, and I think this is one of the reasons why he's very, very rated. He's a Brazilian centre back, a Brazilian fullback, so you understand why his attributes going forward are actually not questionable. He's so good going forward. You could, if you look at him play, you're gonna think about Dani Alves, that kind of player. My own problem with him, and this is purely personal, is the fact that Brazilian fullbacks are awful at defending. He's a little bit solid, of course, but he's playing in Spain. If you compare the Spanish La Liga and the English Premier League, they're two different leagues on different planets. I mean, the La Liga has seen great players like Ronaldo, Messi, Zidane, and the other. But if you look at the level of competition, the quality of talent, and the physicality and tenacity of the Premier League, it's a different league. It's totally different. So my question about him is going to be how fast he tracks back. How fast can he track back as a player? Because that is what the Premier League is going to ask of you. You're going to earn your money as a fullback. You're going to earn your money. There's so many quality players that are going to come against you. Think about Mane, think about Salah, think about Diego Jota, think about Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Phil Foden, and a couple of others. I don't want to mention, all the names. Of course, the Jack Grealishes of this world in the Premier League. So how fast can you cope up with that pace, and how intelligent are you defensive wise? I can't lie, his defensive attributes, the defensive attributes of his game are not so much showcased in the clips I've watched, because like I said, he's more of an adventurous fullback who loves going forward, making these runs off and on the ball, especially when you're in possession. But when you're defending the ball, he's not so much of that player that's actually very, very reliable. And that takes me back to my point. I did talk about it when I was talking about Tariq Lamptey. The reason as to why I would take Tariq Lamptey, if you used to remember when I was doing my Dream 11, Lamptey is a player who actually balances between going forward and defending. Both attributes of his game are well balanced. That's the only reason as to why I take Tariq Lamptey over the other right backs that we've been linked with. Of course, he's a little bit cheaper than Hakimi, but Hakimi is the better version actually of Lamptey. But of course, Lamptey is still Premier League proven, so you could see the advantages that come around with having Tariq Lamptey. But for me, Emmerson is a good player. Don't get me wrongly. Emmerson is a good player. We could do with him. I think 21 million pounds. If you can let Hector Bellerin go for around 26 or 27 million pounds, and then you get Emmerson at 21 million pounds, and then develop him into that player who is actually very stable and solid defensive wise, I think Arsenal will have gotten themselves a very, very good right back. He's playing with Real Sociedad right now. Like I said, if you are at Real Sociedad, they're not so much of demands you're going to get from there. They're not going to ask you for top 4. They're not going to ask you for 10 accurate crosses per game. At Arsenal, which I think is a very, very big club, you've got to deliver. You've got to give us those, statistics. We are going to judge you by your performance, not because you're Brazilian and you run around, and we are going to judge you by your performance and your statistics, which I think he needs to work on as well. But apart from that, that is all I knew about Emmerson. If the rumors actually come on more, become more serious and more stable, I'll do a very serious video about Emmerson. But that is all we need to know about Emmerson. His his attributes going forward are perfect. The problem is, how does he defend? What is his defensive ability there? Like I said, this show, all shows for now, as sponsored by Kosi 90 More. Link is in the description. You're going to go out there, down in the description. Subscribe to that channel. Please do subscribe to the channel and watch the content, because the same content but different clubs. As simple as that. We have to talk about so many things. I mean, there's so many rumors. Erling Haaland, I think that he's one of the reasons why I'm beginning a new channel, Erling Haaland and the future of Kylian Mbappe. And I need to explain clearly what is going on at clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid. What does things like the financial fair play mean, being scrapped, and so many other things. So that channel was started and it's not going back. Please do subscribe to the channel. My name is Kosi. I'm out of this place for now. We'll talk tomorrow. When I talk about, of course, we begin with the daily Arsenal update. You know that I don't know who we are going to talk about tomorrow, but hopefully in the morning we have a lot of news. But I also talk about Tariq Lamptey and Jack Grealish in tomorrow's videos. I think Mikel Arteta might have that might be tempted to go for Jack Grealish, but the 100 price tag is still very, very scary. Can we get around that price tag? Is there any way Arsenal can actually find themselves getting around the 100 million Jack Grealish price tag? Because I think if you get Grealish, I don't want to say this, but let me say it. If you get Grealish, you have top 4 as Arsenal. You have top 4. I'm telling you, as a matter of fact. I think you just need that kind of player with that character and that quality. We'll meet tomorrow. For now, bye-bye for now.